my name is Axel, and I'm going to introduce you to my most recent project. This project, it's called Build Scorer. It is a build splitter that helps you when you go out to eat with your friends. Let's start. Well, this is the backend, a Go file. I use Go language for the web server because Go is a good language to build fast and reliable software. There are two main data types, or Go struct, build and pair. Database connection is a function that helps to get a connection to the database. There are the config to connect to the database. We are using PostgreSQL as a database server. And there are three main functions. These functions makes the manipulation of the data through the backend to the database and vice versa. Create build is for create builds with this data type, with this Go struct named build. Read build reads one record, and list build reads multiple records from the table build. Okay, now the root. We are using as web server. Gin is an HTTP web framework written in Go language with much better performance, and we are using here in main function. I write two APIs or two roots. First called API and second called history. The handler function for history has the name of history handler, and the handler for API root is API handler. History handler calls list build function to read the last 15 records on build table and return to the frontend. An API handler makes the calculation of the build, and if you are logged in the app, it will record your transactions. And that's all. That's all the main .go file. The frontend files that are written in React.js framework, JavaScript framework. This is the app.js file, and we are using something new in React that is called hooks. Hooks are pieces of functional software on React framework. Hooks are not classes, but offers different functionalities that are awesome. First, here's the app hook, and there is the renderer, and renders all components. We get the custom components in a folder called components. It is a hook to build the main form of the app. It uses 6 state variables which are instantiated through useState function of the hooks. And we are using to get all the data from backend the fetch API, and here are all the JSX to render. Now here is the navbar component or hook. This navbar validates if the user is authenticated or not. As you can see, authentication, we are using auth0. Auth0 is service to identify users in any app, and this service makes possible to register or log in with an email and a password, and also Google account and other accounts for many services. This is the Profile.js file, is to render the information of the user that login. It is a private file. If you are not authenticated, you don't have access to it. This makes possible through the private root.js file. There are three main variables. Loading is authenticated, login with redirect. The private root is provided by Auth0 API. Now we have SplitResult.js, which is a model where we are going to render the result for the calculation of the fit form. This model contains a table that contains the data. And we have a build history.js file. It uses fetch JavaScript API to get the data and use the React hooks to refresh the DOM with this method that's called useEffect. This is a pretty awesome feature from React. We had to set two variables, table data and set table data. Table data contains predetermined data that we pass through use state function, and set table data contains the function or method to set the data for the variable table data. And the React hooks introduce a new feature is useEffect function. It receives two parameters, a callback that makes wherever you want. In this case, calls handle submit function that is not an event, is a normal function, and an array of data. In this array, you can set, for example, table data variable, and useEffect will refresh the DOM with table data change. But if you omit any variables, useEffect only refresh the DOM once time. All the hooks are rendered in the app. Hook is the main hook, and that's all of the frontend that I had to say. Here is React Auth0 SPA. This file is provided by the Auth0 team and includes all the logic. It includes all the logic to get the data from Auth0 API, and as you can see, also use hooks, not React components, exporting classes. It uses the new technology hooks. Now we are going to use the app through AWS, Amazon Web Services, and then we install it as PWA, Progressive Web App, and fill in the fit form, number of people, bill amount, and nodes, and the API response. Now we are going to sign in with a Google account. This enables the Touch ID on the device that I was using. And that's it. We're singing successfully. Then we are going to fill in the fit form and see the results. We are going to pay this amount. The two tabs, profile and history, was enabled, and you can see that is working. We are going to record another bill, and this is the results. We are going to view through history tab. This is the profile, this is the history, and we are going to log out. Now we're going to see our Golang server console log. This is the command to run a Go program. The file is main.go. The command is go run plus file. This is the debug console of our web server. It runs on port 8080, and we are going to make a request from our cell phone. There are our requests. I make two requests. The root for the request is API with post method and status 200. That means it's okay. We are going to log in, and now we're going to make a request to get the history of transactions. This is the request for the history of transactions with root history, post method, and status okay. Now we are going to create a new record for this app and this user now, and there is a new record with ID 10. The root is API, post method, and status okay.